Hello and welcome to the 2020 Andy and Dolly Holland Spirit Award celebration. My name is Janet Balzer and I'm the director at the Lopez Community Center. Given the unique times of the last year, we decided the best thing to do for the Spirit Award would be to show you, our community, all of the nominations and to honor everyone who was nominated. We've cut down a few of the videos to make them a little bit shorter, and we've also cut down a little bit of the letters. But don't worry, we will send the nominees all the full letter from all of you. I'd like you to sit back, enjoy, and relax and see what our community has done for all of us. Thank you.
We're the Lopez Island Spirit Award Cheer Squad! Yay! And we're gonna we're nominating Jack Pettigo! We love Jack, yes we do! We love Jack, how about you? Give me a P! P! Give me an E!
E!
Give me an R!
R!
What? Give me an R!
R!
Give me a D!
D!
D! Give me an I!
I!
Give me a G!
G!
Give me an O!
O!
What's that spell?
Perdigo!
These are some of the places that Jack volunteers in our community. San Juan Island's National Monument. Neato! The Lopez Island Conservation Corps. Boom!
The Lopez Historical Museum. Bam! Gleaners. Cool! Repair Cafe.
Turnpoint Lighthouse Preservation Society. Zoom. Keepers of the Peytos Light. Pow. And the Labyrinth Fairies. Wow.
And anything Nick can talk him into.
2, 4, 6,
8. Who do we appreciate?
Jack Perdigo! Jack Perdigo!
Hi, I'm Gretchen Wing. Our community has had a lot of heroes in 2020, from our dedicated EMTs and clinic professionals to all the food providers and our incredibly hardworking pharmacists. But for overall comprehensive pivoting to meet the fast-changing and drastic needs of Lopesians, old, young, and in between, I can't think of anyone who showed more community spirit than the folks at the Family Resource Center. As COVID slashed paychecks and prevented grocery shopping, the Family Resource Center literally kept food on tables all around the island by partnering with restaurants and farmers and enlisting a benevolent army of volunteers to glean and pack and deliver week after week. Family Resource Center paid just as much attention to the nourishment of people's souls by upping their support of mentors and mentees through virtual get-togethers, overcoming all sorts of daunting challenges of technology. Who knew you could have a virtual cupcake party with real cupcakes? These programs are just a partial example of the way the leadership and staff of the Family Resource Center have stepped in to keep Lopez healthy and safe during the pandemic. Programs continue for transportation, for mental health, for wellness, for teens, for girls. Even a new tutoring program is just getting going. And probably other programs I don't even know about. Can you imagine what state Lopez would be in now if not for all the work these folks have undertaken, way above and beyond their job descriptions? Neither can I. I, therefore, am proud to nominate the Lopez Island Family Resource Center for this year's Community Spirit Award. Thank you.
I'm Nancy Ewart, and I want to nominate Kenny and Lori. Kenny Burtness, and I do not know Lori's last name, of Port Stanley Lights fame. They have continually, over many years, brightened many lives and hearts with their incredible light display. And because I live close to them and I walk every day, I've watched them and how hard they worked to put those lights up year after year. They even built a reflection pond so that the lights reflect. It's just such a work of art, and I think this year more than any year, everyone seems to be embracing it, and they were well aware of how important it was this year to even expand their lights because they know that we all need it.
You may not know this Lopez couple by name, but chances are you've enjoyed their magical fairyland display of trees lighted and reflected in their ponds during the Christmas holidays. Captain Kenny Burtness and his wife, Lori Murphy, have spent countless hours, not just this year, but in years past as well, creating that wonderful scene of twinkling trees on Port Stanley Road, just south of the old Port Stanley schoolhouse. This year, their display seemed better than ever, and was so appreciated in this time of COVID-19. This seems to be a labor of love for them. They wanted nothing from the rest of us. We aren't even asked to make donations to keep the lights shining brightly for everyone to enjoy. The lights are just there, night after night, shining brightly in the darkness, giving us hope for a brighter tomorrow. And so it becomes a destination along this lonely stretch of road, someplace to go, to slowly drive by, to marvel, to photograph. The braver among us find a place to park and then walk to savor the scene even more. Photos are taken, hundreds, probably thousands, during the nights of the season. These unsung heroes personify the spirit of Lopez. They have created something special for all of us to enjoy.
Heartfelt appreciation to Captain Kenny and his wife Lori for the spectacular Christmas light display that is bringing joy to so many. For several years, Kenny and Lori have been putting in countless hours stringing and de-stringing all the trees to create a magical wonderland. This year's display is better than ever, partly due the wonderful support of Jennifer Meng's donation and use of the IMC man lift. A special thanks also to the volunteerism from Tim Slattery, Art Rendon, and Jeff Green. They contributed many hours of light work.
We, the Sweetbriar Farm volunteers, nominate Doug Ben O'Leal for the Spirit Award. Doug plans and plants and harvests acres of food for the Lopez Island Family Resource Center. He organizes us volunteers to work weekly to get veggies to our island neighbors. 1, 2, 3.
Doug's our hero.
Hero.
He's your guy.
He's your guy.
Doug buys the seeds, prepares the ground. He plows and hoes, he plants and plans. He calls his team, he organizes. He weeds and weeds and weeds and weeds. Doug's a hero. He's your guy. Doug gets his team, they weed and hoe, they harvest veggies for food to go. We want food out there, we know you need it. Doug gets it to LF4C. Doug's a hero, he's your guy. Doug loves our Lopez, he grows the veggies, he gets the helpers, he's dedicated to make it happen. He's such a leader. You are our hero, Farmer Doug. Yeah! Doug's the hero!
Pamela McCabe has served on the board of directors of the Family Resource Center. She contributes generously to island-wide efforts in the areas of food security, physical fitness, arts, and affordable housing. The new blue building was brought about through Pamela's generosity and is home to Lopez Fit and the Lopez Island Family Resource Center. Pamela is one of the kindest, most humble people quietly doing good works on behalf of the greater community.
I think Pamela McCabe should receive the Spirit Award. Pamela McCabe cares deeply about the health and well-being of the Lopez community and wants to see it continue to thrive. Because she recognized the value each organization brings to the community, she built the new space for Lopez Fit and LIFRC, and then gifted each entity the building to have a stable base into the future. Not only that, but she was one of the founding members of Lopez Fit and has worked tirelessly as a volunteer on both boards for many years. There is no way to thank her enough for her heartfelt gifts.
I'm Mickey Ryan, and I am here to sing the praises of a true Lopez spirit, Linda Barton. Linda checks off every box for attributes that make her a deserving recipient of the Lopez Spirit Award. She is unselfish with her time, her care, and her assets, helping all Lopez nonprofits organizations to fulfill their mission and care for their constituents. Whether that is in food, in housing, in projects, in problem solving, in governance, and analysis of issues and problems, wherever she sees a need, she gives of herself with love, tolerance, and integrity. I've actually heard her called the island's secret philanthropist, unsung philanthropist, because she does her work so quietly and without recognition. She carries her mother's dedication to doing good work into her own life and her contacts on Lopez Island. Among the extraordinary things she's done is to provide property for a young family who contribute heavily to the community's cultural and economic assets. She has sponsored a number of community projects or underwritten projects that will serve the community for generations into the future. One of the things that she's done that I think is so extraordinary about her, and she doesn't, is that she, in her middle age, she swam from San Francisco to Alcatraz 5 times. And she says that I'm not special. There's nothing extraordinary about that. I just saw a challenge, and I decided I wanted to do it. Well, that's how Linda works. She works that way here on Lopez. She sees a challenge, she sees a need, and she sets forth to fix it. Thank you, Linda. You are a true Lopez spirit.
This is Philip Prudhomme, the Friends of Lopez Island Pool Executive Director, and I would like to recommend Linda Barton for the Dolly and Andy Holland Lopez Spirit Award. She has been so meaningful to me, obviously to the Flip organization, but she's also provided, helped me with transportation and coming from off island to serve this community. And I am just thrilled to work with her. Obviously, if you know her, you know how big her heart is and how much she gives to pretty much everyone she meets, as far as I can tell. So thank you, Linda.
Hi, I'm Robin Bergstrom, and I met Linda Barton 13 years ago when she resurrected the previous Lopez Island swimming pool project. Both avid swimmers without a pool, we were fast friends. For many years, we have swum in the cold waters of McKay Harbor to improve our health and fitness. Because a very few can do that, we persevere through Flip to provide water safety and other benefits from aquatics to our community. That effort would be nowhere without Linda. The book Bounty, that so many of us have on our coffee tables, was partially funded by Linda. She is a faithful and generous donor to Lopez community organizations and individuals. I know a lot of people, but I can count on one hand the number like Linda. Her empathy and compassion for others is just who she is. It embodies everything that she does. She chooses to live well beneath her means so that she can support others. Being a humble person, Much of what she does and has done is only known by those who have benefited. Perhaps they tell others, but Linda is not one to boast at all. Truly, Linda is an unsung philanthropist of Lopez Island. Thank you.
I'm Sue Roundy, and I'm nominating Linda Barton for this year's Lopez Spirit Award. I met Linda originally about 10 years ago, sitting at the Lopez Saturday Market behind a small table with some signage about a pool. Over the years, Linda has continued to sit at that table. Even this year, with our COVID restrictions, she was there. Linda has given her heart and soul to this project year after year. She has proven with her leadership that this is a viable project for our community, and she deserves recognition. Thank you.
Hey there, this is Dave, and for this year's Spirit Awards, I would like to nominate Amber. You all know her, or at least you hear her singing as she drives her aeronautical truck around the village and various places, blaring the music and singing at the top of her lungs, spreading happiness, not to mention packages in her wake.
Hello, my name is Quinn Steckler, and I would like to nominate Jesse Hammond as the winner of this year's Spirit Award. I have been someone who's been interested in music for my entire life. I began playing violin at a very young age, and then moved on to piano and finally landed on guitar for quite a few years by now. So I was super excited at the chance to join a band when I was in high school, created by Jesse. I think joining that band was one of the best decisions I could have made in my high school career, because Jesse eventually became one of the most influential people in my life when it comes to music. And I had an incredible time playing alongside my fellow students and friends. I know so much of what I know about music today because of Jesse. He's also very good at teaching music to young high schoolers and middle schoolers, which is a very difficult feat. And he was very fair when it comes to picking our songs. He was always inclusive when it came to whose ideas would be chosen for the next song, for the next set, for the next gig. And in general, there are so many different things I remember positively about Jesse and that band. He would always be willing to play extra rehearsals if everyone felt like it, if we needed to practice. He would take time out of his day to go and rehearse with us almost every single day. He would bring snacks along sometimes just in case some of the students were hungry. And in general, he has a very kind heart, a smart mind, and I think that he would be the perfect winner of the Spirit Award. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Lynn Sorensen, and I would like to nominate Jim Lombard. Jim is the organizer of Metal Dogs up at the dump, and we meet every other Wednesday in rain, snow, sleet, or sun, and recycle metal, and Jim organizes us, motivates us, and is just a wonderful guy to work with. He also supports the kids' sail program, doing maintenance on boats, and sets up at this lovely facility when we have concerts and things. And he's just an all-around good guy. Go, Jim.
Jim Lombard is a volunteer supreme. He is a convener of the Recycle Dogs at the dump. He has done free commercial kitchen designs and advice to The Fork in the Road, Taproot, and Stonecrest Farm. He served on the Lopez Solid Waste Disposal Board of Directors. He has contributed graphics and visuals to the Quiet Skies campaign to lessen the pain and damage of NAS Whidbey Island growler overflights. He is always upbeat and ready with a smile.
It is a joy to nominate Lexi and Kerm Taylor, our former Bakerview Road neighbors, for the Andy and Dolly Holland Lopez Spirit Award. We wish we had done this before we moved to New Mexico and North Carolina 2 years ago. We are familiar with the expectations of this award, since it was launched over 20 years ago around our dining room table with Marlis and Lynn Waller and Frank and Emily Mallory. Recipients have given to their community in extraordinary ways, unselfishly, reliably, lovingly, with tolerance and integrity. Lexi and Kerm Taylor are for real with their 35 years of lasting loyalty to the Lopez community. It is reflected in their actions and demonstrated in their support of individuals who need a bed or a hot meal or a pet cared for or a ride off island. What many Lopesians have seen is their more visible volunteer work. Lexi guided Lopez Community Center during some difficult organizational times. Her strategy for hiring 2 part-time staff with different skill set is still the organizational model. She has served on the Lopez Education Foundation board for over 8 years. With a bunch of women, she helped start Lopez Fit in the village. But the Family Resource Center has always had my heart, Lexi said, where she serves on the board. Kerm has chaired the tennis board, then for 6 years served on the Hamlet board. He started the Trails Network with Eric Hall and has been on the board of the CWMA for the past 3 years. Kerm said he wants nothing more than to make Lopez a fabulous, equitable, active, and inviting place for everyone. Lexi loves living in a small community where you can actually see all the good that people here have done. Kerm and Lexi are a couple that truly reflect the Lopez spirit that Andy and Dolly Holland showed us so many years ago.
I have always had difficulty with the Spirit Award trying to find one person who seemed like the right person to do this, because our community is so filled with so many wonderful people who take care of each other. So this year, I just want to acknowledge a few of the organizations and the people, not necessarily individuals, who I think make Lopez such a marvelous, wonderful place to live. Let's start with the Family Resource Center. They have gone out of their way to help people on the island, to provide food and care and resources to people who have been stuck inside because of COVID and everything else. And along with that goes all the volunteers who are helping to package and distribute food, the restaurants who have been providing cooked food as meals, and then we'll move on to the EMS department, who have been on the front line of this whole COVID thing, and finally now are starting to get vaccinations so that they can continue to take great care of us. Now, I know that EMS got the award last year, but their continuing service really makes it for me. Then there's the guys at the post office who just keep going through all of this, and the guys at the market who just keep going through all of this. So it's a community. We take care of each other. People help each other. It's the combination of all of us that really makes this community wonderful, and that's what the Spirit is all about.
The entire Lopez Medical Clinic staff deserves the Lopez Spirit Award for 2020. Through the chaos, uncertainty, and fear of the COVID-19 crisis, they kept the clinic open and running smoothly, working tirelessly to assure that all of us had access to outstanding medical care under extraordinarily challenging conditions. Initially, when the risk and transmission factors were unknown, and later when they became known, each member of the staff put concern for their friends' and neighbors' health and safety above their own, accepting the considerable personal risk of showing up to work each day. Gowned, gloved, sanitized, and masked, they developed creative protocols to deal with daunting logistical problems, flexing, responding, and adapting to each new safety requirement imposed by the pandemic, working under very stressful circumstances to keep all of us safe. And they did it with grace, smiles, calm support, and the utmost professionalism. As a community, we owe our clinic staff our gratitude and deepest thanks.
Lopez Island Medical Clinic. Through transitions and organizational changes, the dedicated staff of the clinic have continued to provide effective medical care for Lopez Island. Since the early days of the clinic, supported and sustained by Catherine Washburn Medical Association, care has been provided to this rural and unique remote island community by compassionate and competent healthcare professionals. I am grateful for the dedication of the healthcare professionals who care for us at the clinic.
Hi, I'm Cheryl Harlan, and I am here to nominate Pamela Pauley and Suzanne Berry for the Lopez Spirit Award because they are the most wonderful people for this community. They do everything. Anytime I turn around, they're doing something else for the community. And now I have some videos from some of their friends and admirers to say why.
Okay, I'm here with Valerie Yuckluck and John Shaw to talk about Suzanne and Pamela and how wonderful they are for our community. John, hit it.
I always talk about Suzanne being the moral compass of the kitchen. She's always got her eyes on the prize, but what is good, what is healthy, and what we can push ourselves to do better in. And so I really love that she is so invested in the outcome and so integral in making it happen.
Yeah, that's pretty true. I think we've worked together 10 years now in the garden, and we built it up so that there's probably around 11,000 pounds of food coming in just for the kids. And she was always thinking of new ideas for what to grow, and we grew grinding corn and our own dry beans, and the kids are always involved in some part of the harvesting or processing or something. So the kids are learning about where their food comes from, and they get really good food here, and a big part of it is because of Suzanne. And Pamela's helped a lot with building projects up here, built some worm bins, put one of the sheds in, and she's just always helping the kids here at school too. So
Sweet.
Hi.
I'm here with Jesse Ryan Hammond, no relation, to talk about Suzanne and Pamela and how important they are to our community.
I've been working with Suzanne for quite some time, and just seeing her dedication and the efforts that she puts into the light program at the school is just amazing. Working with them is really special to me, and I'm really proud to be raising my family here with them on Lopez Island.
Hi, I'm Beth Robson, and Pamela helped me build my wonderful little tiny house. We built it together, and she was an amazing teacher and just an amazing person. But I learned so much from her. She has incredible skills, not only building, but also teaching. She has incredible patience and just really knows how to communicate her knowledge and teach, and I really appreciated that about her. And then of course every once in a while she'd have to run off and go save somebody's life, which I also appreciate about her so much.
Yeah.
So she's just a kind, wonderful, amazing person. Thank you, Pamela.
Yeah.
I'm Sam Dillingham. I've been working with Pamela Polly for about 3 years, including working on this structure, which is the barn we built for Susan Bill after her original barn built down. Nope.
It burnt
Can
down.
we start over?
No, let's not start over.
Slowly but surely it was built down. It was built down. Yeah, Pamela's just like such an inspirational person to work with. She's really kind, really supportive. She's an amazing teacher who always wants to share what she knows with other people. Always never values her work enough.
Yeah. I like to call her the people's carpenter on the island because she could easily market herself doing the like fine fancy homes, doing the like really niche stuff, but she purposely makes herself affordable and available for locals and for people who need like regular good quality projects like housing or odd little projects, renovations, all this sort of stuff. And she does that intentionally, and I think that it makes her one of the most valuable builders and craftspeople on this island.
Beautiful.
Yeah, she's been an EMT for a long time. I don't know how many years, but
yeah.
like many years. They're like a wonder duo.
Yeah, power couple.
Yeah, power couple. Like very kind power couple.
Yeah.
I think I might entitle this whole thing Wonder Duo.
And yeah, she was also super instrumental in the Say Their Names Memorial, really big advocate of social justice, and has been for forever and ever. And yeah, just love the two of them so much. The islands would be a sad place without them. I think they're really big pillars of our community and certainly of my life. And now I'm going to cry. So.
Okay, it's agreed.
Hello, I'm Levi Rodriguez. I've been on Lopez for about 12 years. Pamela and Suzanne were the first people that I met here. I came on as an intern at Common Ground, where Pamela and Suzanne were both building 11 straw bale houses for an affordable housing project, the Lopez Community Land Trust. You know, I've seen her, they had a garden here on our land for the last several years, where Suzanne would often be out, you know, in the middle of the summertime, but the dead of night with her headlamp, probably about 3 days a week, planting.
And that was feeding the school, right?
That was feeding the school. That is, you know, I mean, in no way personally benefiting herself. Yeah, I don't know. Pamela and Suzanne have drastically altered the trajectory of my life, and I believe that can be true for countless individuals on this island to whom they have really supplied home, you know, been a part of creating home for so many people, and not just home as in a roof over your head, but like a true sense of belonging and community, you know, and also going to bat for people over the years, you know, waking up in the middle of the night and going to aid calls, during COVID, you know, also going to aid calls. Yeah, anyways, I you know, I could speak on and on forever. They're literally, you know, the anchor that has kept me on Lopez for 12 years and, you know, convinced me to stay in the first place. So
I would like to nominate Chom and Chris for all the obvious reasons. They're amazing community members that we can all admire, and I know we all look up to all of the work they've done.
There are so many deserving folks on Lopez. What an amazing community we have. We just must say we wanted to include Chris and Chom Greason in the running. Chom created COVID masks and helped to organize huge numbers of volunteers to produce thousands and thousands of masks to be given out free to all who needed them. Chris has served the community for years on the school board and in guiding and inspiring solar and natural systems to provide power and beauty to our island. That's just an inkling of what they have been up to on behalf of the community and our children.
Myself and Marcia Meyer-Stoner are nominating Chom Greason for her grab-and-go masks and coming up with that whole concept and carrying it through. Over 13,000 grab-and-go masks have been made by Lopez volunteers under the visionary lead of Tom Grecian. These blue masks have filled a need through all the months of the virus to keep our businesses and public locations safe by providing a quick solution to those customers needing a mask. Chom's ingenuity not only created a simple and cost-effective solution, but she also engineered the handy dispensers using only upcycled materials to build the weatherproof dispensers. A very special thanks and shout out to IMC for providing the blue polypropylene towels for all these masks, as well as Catherine Washburn Medical Association for providing the funds for the components. We hope in 2021 we will see the end of our diligent mask wearing, and perhaps let's dream up a masked ball at LCCA to ring in 2022. Every single effort, from meetings to mask making to encouraging mask compliance, have worked together to keep Lopez's case numbers at the low end of our county. Please keep up the amazing work, and thank you, Chom, for your tireless dedication on the grab and go masks, inspiring your team of makers. Thank you.
I am delighted to join others in honoring Gail Isbell and Tom Ruggles for the Holland Spirit Award. I have worked with both Gail and Tom at the Lopez Thrift Shop for several years, and they have willingly, tirelessly, and enthusiastically devoted numerous hours to the smooth running of our beloved thrift shop. Gail is our shop manager. She makes sure there are volunteers to receive donations, sort, price, and stock the merchandise in the shop, and she works side by side with the volunteers in each of these roles as needed. And Tom has faithfully helped with all the heavy lifting for these sales, as well as also working behind the scenes to help the shop run smoothly. He has set up equipment, evaluated and fixed items that might be sellable with a little extra TLC. He's moved furniture and clothing racks and merchandise wherever it needed to be for our sales, and generously used his classic pickup truck to haul whatever we needed wherever it needed to be. There is so much more that I could say about Tom and Gail. We have a wonderful crew of volunteers in the thrift shop, but I can tell you with all honesty and in sincerity that it's because of Tom and Gail and their generous gift of time and energy that we have been able to have the shop open and be successful during the coronavirus and the restrictions that we've had to live with that. Thank you, Tom and Gail.
I have worked with Gail for the past several years on the board of the Lopez Thrift Shop. Then along came COVID-19. That changed everything, as you know. Because of the lockdown, we could no longer have the shop open for customers. But she, along with the board, still felt we had an obligation to earn money to award grants to nonprofits on the island. Many depend on that. So she went to work. She came up with the crazy idea to have outdoor sales in front of the shop. She worked out all the state-required distancing, the traffic patterns between the outdoor racks of clothing, the boxes of shoes, the kitchen and household wear, the sanitizing and the work crew required. Huge undertaking. Then the first sale. We were all anxious. Would people actually come? But it went well, better than expected. Then the second sale, and more. Customers lined up in advance, so starved were islanders for shopping therapy. We were able, with her organization and direction, to profit more funds than ever expected. Gail Isbell goes above and beyond her principal role of Lopez Thrift Store shop floor manager. She is the soul of the shop, She is the definition of a devoted volunteer, selflessly giving of her time to the thrift shop and therefore to the community for which it serves. She maintains a positive attitude towards all and is beloved and appreciated by all Lopez Thrift Shop volunteers.
My Spirit Award recommendation goes to Gail Isbell and Tom Ruggles. They are two of the first people on Lopez that I was lucky enough to meet and work with. From a distance, I saw them manage Woodman Hall garage sale and auction with such effective management and tireless work that I decided to join their crew and have worked with them ever since. I thought I was a hard worker until I worked with these two. I've since worked with Gail as she's managed the thrift shop. The main thing I tell her is, go home. You've been here too long. Tom is obviously a donations collector, solicitor, and talk you into it anythinger for hospice. Lord, I know, 'cause he got Brian and I to donate 3 large barbecue dinners for their auction. I'd do anything for Tom, but geez, does it have to be a barbecue? Myself and everyone I know who works at the shop is grateful for Gail and Tom. It really does take a couple, as we learned from Norma and Belle Brimmer. When people like Gail and Tom become so instrumental, work so hard, and have such a positive impact, it immediately brings up my worrywart side, which wonders, what would this community do without Gail Isbell and Tom Ruggles? Can't imagine.
Patty Ward and the board of the Friends of Woodman Hall want to support the nomination of Gail Isbell and Tom Ruggles for the Holland Spirit Award. Gail and Tom have been steady and inspiring workers with the Friends for years. We first met Gail in an unusual way. I was hard at work in charge of the Woodman Hall yard sale quite a number of years ago, while Connie was at work on the auction. There were so many people, so many items, and so much going on. Out of nowhere, a woman I didn't know walked up to me and said, "You look like you could use some help." This was how I met Gail Isbell. She soon became a hardworking member of the Friends of Woodman Hall. She's always working, finding ways to bring new ideas to our group.
About 8 years ago, while waiting in line 1, the good old days, I was right behind the VW bus with a teardrop camper, and I grabbed the chance to study the camper and got to talk to the owner and his wife. After a while, back to my car, where behind me was a friend, alone and obviously not well. After discussing, we both came to the conclusion that driving on the ferry and home was out of the question. Problem was 2 cars and 1 driver. So back to Camperman and his wife. Proper introductions were made, problem explained, and immediately solved. Shortly afterwards, I talked to Tom about joining the board of hospice and home support, which I had just joined. Long story short, Tom has been active on the board with the Jingle Bell Dinner, fundraising, and providing financial advice to the board. He will roll off this month and shall be missed. Gail is active in the thrift store and Woodman Hall, and Tom helps as well. I am fortunate to count them among my friends and very happy to recommend them for the Lopez Spirit Award.
I wish to nominate Gail Isbell and Tom Ruggles for the Holland Spirit Award from the Lopez Community Center. Being relatively new to permanent residency on Lopez, I've been impressed with how they volunteer their time and energy to so many vital areas of Lopez activity. Knowing that many Lopesians give their time and talent, these two are different, serving above the usual call.
Hello Lopez, this is Amy Hildebrand, Director of the Lopez Island Historical Society, and I just wanted to add my voice in support of Tom Ruggles and Gail Isbell for the Lopez Spirit Award. Tom started on the board here back in 2015 and started as board president in 2019 when I came on board as the new director. And Tom has been such an incredible support and guide for me. He always encourages me to trust myself and follow my own intuition, and He offers advice with a warm heart and a good dose of humor, which I have always appreciated. He also will show up to do any little task that I ask him to do here at the museum. And he and Gail for many years have been helping with our spring opening and other events here at the museum with just such a great spirit. And I so appreciate all of the work that they both do here around Lopez, and also the positive influence that they've had on my life personally. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for the service that you do for this island and for bringing something special to my life.
Well, we've been through so much, and through it all, there's been a certain constant, steady presence of caring and confidence and patience and professionalism in our community. And I'm thinking specifically of Rick and Marge McCoy of Lopez Island Pharmacy. No, they're certainly not the only ones who have been there for all of us, but I do think they stand out. They never, ever let COVID-19 stop them from being exceptional in their customer service and care for our community. They have been and still are like a rock that we can all depend on, and therefore I nominate Rick and Marge McCoy for the Spirit Award.
I'd like to nominate Rick and Marge McCoy for the Lopez Spirit Award this year. I've lived on island for 20 years, and I can tell you I've never had as much care from a medical team. From organizing my medications, quite the chore, to dropping off prescriptions after hours, Marge and Rick have taken such good care of me. Now that I live in Seattle, I'm even more aware of the amazing service they provided. I can't say enough good things about them. They definitely deserve the Spirit Award.
I'd like to nominate Rick and Marge McCoy. They are so committed to us Lopesians. They work tirelessly at the pharmacy. Pleasant, knowledgeable, competent, caring, compassionate, generous, just to name a few adjectives describing them. I could call on Rick or Marge 24 hours a day, and they would be there to help me in matter of minutes. Several times we've needed prescriptions after the closing hour. The McCoys meet us at the pharmacy, help us. I'm so grateful to them. They work long hours, never lose their graciousness or friendliness. They often have a float in the 4th of July parade. How do they have time to do this and everything else they do? Besides being great Lopesians, they are funny and enjoyable in every way. They really need to be acknowledged for the great people they are.
Hello, I would like to nominate the McCoys, Rick and Marge McCoy, from the Lopez Island Pharmacy for recipients of the Spirit Award. And they have been taking care of all of us on the island in so many ways during this year of COVID. They not only fill our prescriptions and help us with advice regarding medications, over-the-counter meds. They give us vaccines, and they've been doing so in a way that keeps us all safe. And this has been at increased cost for them and decreased revenue because people aren't, obviously going into the pharmacy. So they have really gone the extra 100 miles for all of us. And soon they're going to start giving us COVID-19 vaccinations too, as if they didn't have so much already on their plate. So I am very grateful to them, and I know many people on Lopez agree with me, and I would like to make public our appreciation.
Lopez Island Pharmacy. For more than 2 decades, Marge and Rick McCoy have improved the lives of all Lopesians. They have worked diligently and lovingly to protect and nurture us. Working from the perspective of devoted and caring family members, they watch over each of us. filling our prescriptions and pill boxes, saving us when we're on vacation and run out of medication and must call for help, ensuring we receive our flu shot, pneumonia shot, and shingles shots, immunizing our children. This personal attention represents their extraordinary kindness and compassion.
I would like to nominate Rick and Marge McCoy at the Lopez Island Pharmacy for 2020's Lopez Spirit Award. They have embodied love and service on the front lines at a time when we have needed them and their wisdom, agency, and compassion most. Thank you for considering them. They deserve our public thanks and recognition. This nomination is for Contessa Downey. For 14 years of exemplary service to the Lopez community, for being a great friend and an unfailing support to anyone and everyone in need for any and all reasons, for dedicating countless hours of her life to the uplifting of others, being an excellent mother and keeping a warm and welcome sense of humor and graciousness through challenges, especially now. I hereby nominate Contessa, the Queen of Hearts, Downey, for the Lopez Spirit Award 2020.
Nikita Palmasani is of unfailing good humor, kindness, and just a little mischief. She is our ambassador for our dump, sharing her skills with reusing, repurposing, reclaiming the stuff of our lives, and reaching out to other communities to share her ability to educate others in doing what she has established here on Lopez. Her part of being a force of nature at the dump is welcoming all Lopezians to use the facilities. These include Tioli, which she was instrumental in reorganizing and transforming, how we use it and what the space is to make it more user-friendly. She organized artwork from several different sources around the island, like the Lopez School bottle cap collage, and the dump volunteers put together wonderful fabric collages of Lopez landscape and scenes. This shows that our dump belongs to all Lopezians and to brighten up the area. She also was instrumental in acquiring 2 3D printers. These can be run with recycled plastics from our dump, which was one solution when China stopped taking our plastic recycling. She was the driving force behind the very popular Dogs of the Dump calendars. Nikita is always thinking of yet another way that we can use our facilities there and ways to include more members of our community in all the dump has to offer. Nikita is a woman of many and varied talents, including dancer and yoga instructor. In normal years, this means that she's running creaky yoga classes for our senior population on Lopez. She's a poet, including having just published her first book, Dancing the Bones of a Far Older Future, which is available at the Lopez Island Bookshop. She also does improv theater and movement pieces. She has organized a myriad of things to keep up our flagging spirits through this long COVID-19 siege, including Fashion Fridays, where we can get dressed up and post our photos of our outfits online so we don't go all week in our sweats. She organized a local authors reading festival, which is running Fridays and Saturdays, January 9th through 23rd via Zoom, and including her first public reading of her own work, Friday, January 15th. She organized a group of artists, musicians, and writers who are posting 30 days of art online as a way to help us all through these last, darkest days of winter. She is always trying to think of ways to enhance our lives and our community. It is no accident that her favorite image is of a lotus flower rising up out of the mud. Like an embodiment of that lotus, she is always trying to find ways to not only see the bright beauty which can come rising up out of the muck, but to show other people that joy and wonder in life can be like a beautiful lotus bloom, only temporarily hidden by life's twists and turns like the current pandemic. Nikita's inner lotus blossom
has shone out for all who have been touched by her warm, caring heart and by her passion for life on Lopez. She can be found both exploring the many ways we can be in community with each other and help each other even now when we can't spend time together face to face. She is out there beckoning you to join in the fun. Nikita Palmasani is a force of nature, a lotus bloom, a puckish spirit, daring you to try something new and different. Nikita has been and will continue to be a blessing to our Lopez Island home.
Carol Wetton, probably one of the kindest souls you'll ever want to meet. She quietly goes around doing wonderful things for Lopez. I know way back when with the Child Resource Center, she was very active in helping support them in any way she could. Volunteering, I believe she was on the board. Same with the Family Resource Center. She still, even to this day, she and John both were even delivering lunches during the pandemic. Plus many other areas that she filled in. Also, I can remember early on with Hamlet House when it was sort of struggling, she was working with the board and helping supplying and making meals for the residents there for quite a while. So those are the things that I know that she just quietly goes about doing, and you just don't know where she's been or what she's up to, but it's always for the good of the community. Very selfless. Then of course we can always move to the home tour because John and Carol both have been instrumental in the basics of that. Have taken it from kind of a struggling organization to a very successful fundraiser for the center. So Carol, you're the best. I really feel that you are the spirit that we look for Lopez in all your giving, and I'm so glad we can be friends. Thank you for all you've done for Lopez.
John and I go back to about 2002, I think, when John showed up one day to help me build the place where we cooked salmon on one time when we had a salmon bake there. He jumped in and helped me put bricks down into the ground so we could build a fire on top for the salmon bake. From then on, John and I became good friends, and along came time to do something for the center, and so in '04 is when we began with the first home tour. John and Carol jumped in to help us, and so we took it from there, and year on year on year, we've made it bigger and better and more profitable. But the big contribution that John made to Home Tour, the success of it, was sponsorships. John was so successful in bringing in sponsors year after year, more and more, to the point where it long surpassed the value of ticket sales. And that became the backbone of how we were able to generate good funds at the end of each tour. We've got a new development called Virtual Tour now, but it does almost as well because the sponsorships that John has brought in have been very reliable, and they have provided the real income. John and Carol have contributed so much to the home tour that we feel so proud of them and so strongly that without them we could not have done it. So John and Carol, thank you both so very much, and thank you for the community otherwise, because John and Carol, you've been very busy as a trustee on the board for Preservation Trust, and you've served a number of years as a member of the Ferry Advisory Committee as well. And we all appreciate that. Those are a couple of things that you've been very, very instrumental in being involved in. Thanks again, John. Good job. See you later.
Bye.
Kathy Doherty has contributed much to this community through the clinic, And in addition, she has taken health care beyond the clinic, being available by phone and making home visits. She has helped with providing COVID testing for those who cannot get it elsewhere. And she has taken this spirit of Lopez to the continent of Africa, where she has participated in bringing health care to remote rural areas. She has taken in several foster children and adopted some of them. She welcomes all that call on her for advice.
I'd like to nominate Kathy Doherty for the Spirit Award this year. She has provided an incredible amount of help, advice, care, and support to the Lopez community over the years. She is on the board of the Hamlet and provides care to the residents of the Hamlet House. In addition, it has been stated time and again by so many individuals that Kathy is always willing to help out and sometimes save the day any way she can. She is such a blessing for our community.
Hello. I would like to recommend the cafeteria crew at the school who has spent every school day since March preparing food for the children of the island. I will read their names. It's John Shaw, Carrie Warner, Terry Linnerman, Suzanne Berry, Valerie Yuckluck, Walt Andrews, and Ronnie Klompus. There may be others who have helped by coming in and doing food prep with them, but this is the crew that has been there day in, day out since the beginning of the problems that we've been having with our country. So they prepare the food that John has recipes for, and they do it. The school smells wonderful when they're doing it. And then it's all put together and it's delivered by the folks using the transportation system headed up by Terry Linneman. So John Shaw is the chef, and Suzanne Berry is the head of the garden, and we use a lot of their food from the garden in these lunches. They're very healthy, organic, and plentiful food for the children while they're at home, not able to attend school. So I would like to recommend this crew who has been there throughout this entire time making food for the children of the island. Thank you.
Barbara Schultheis has a huge heart, is adaptable, and has a true desire to create a caring community where everyone feels listened to and has their needs met. She initiated a Compassion Lopez program and continually works with community members and partners with other organizations like the school, medical center, and library to understand and advocate for community needs. Her ability to mobilize staff, volunteers, and donors to provide needed food security, support local businesses, and address the social emotional needs of the community during the pandemic were remarkable, to say the least. In addition to the food program, mental health issues, and needs of families, these were addressed with a variety of COVID-safe family and youth programs and ongoing assessments. She is a tireless, dedicated community engager and so deserving of the Spirit Award.
I nominate Dixie Budke for her taking on the interim principal job at the Lopez School when things were tough. Also, her energy as Garden Club president and her work for sustainability through Kitchen Garden, gleaning and food prep for school and community. She's a great positive thinker and generous giver of time and compensation to the community. Thanks.
Hello, I'd like to nominate Stephanie Vallejo for the Spirit Award. Early on this year when the pandemic hit and things were still so unknown, she was one of the shoppers and drivers that would deliver groceries from LVM to people on the island. And for me and my family, my son had just been born and we were in that really tender early time. It was really powerful to have someone go and do our shopping and bring us groceries. And it helped us, have that important time together and shielded us from some of the risk early on. And I'm so appreciative of it. And it really speaks to me of what the Lopez spirit is all about.
Senior lunch is an institution. Seniors have gone to Woodman Hall 3 days a week for many years to receive a nutritious and delicious lunch to engage in what is, for some, the only opportunity for socialization they have. These lunches are prepared by a dedicated group of volunteers who care deeply about each senior. Tables are decorated and the room is warm and cheerful, filled with laughter and vibrant conversations. Senior lunch is as much about quality of life as it is about nutrition.
I'm Tracy Cottingham, and it's really hard to recognize just one person or group with the early planning and action teams that quickly self-organized in the early weeks of the pandemic. I'm pleased this year's Spirit Award recognizes the need for a collective community award. Early in March, Ann Dawson designed and donated materials and organized an awe-inspiring mask-making effort for Lopez Island. Before the lockdown, before the governor's mask mandate, Ann and her makers team with Enchanted Quilters gathered more than 30 quilters and supportive friends, worked the spring away sewing hundreds of masks for Lopesians. At the same time, Lopez COVID Health Support Group was formed with a mission to support the health of Lopez Island residents in extraordinary times, utilizing skilled and professional volunteers, including distributing Ann's masks at Lopez locations, to coordinating efforts with the pharmacy on vaccine drive-thrus at the fire hall, and currently working on planning the COVID vaccine support on Lopez. Thanks to Karen Gilbert for her leadership with this team. Early weeks in the pandemic included the planning behind the scenes for the potential for rapid spread of the virus, included coordinated efforts by Marty Clark, Jim Giglione, County Health, Kai Sandburn, and Diane Dyer. The Lopez Clinic, including the potential to set up a temporary hospital at LCCA. Thankfully, it was not needed. Additional support and coordination of keeping Lopez leaders apprised of all the different working groups to make sure everyone on Lopez was taken care of and no one would fall through the cracks. From the youngest to the oldest was Lopez Recovers, led by Christy Campbell and Marcia Deschardonnay, with meetings that continue until we are through this pandemic. The library added many hats to their efforts to provide a forum for communicating pandemic information through their Village Square Zoom meetings, as well as supplying families with packets of crafts and learning materials throughout the summer, and continuing to work with the school on supporting students through this very difficult time. Malia Sanford kept us all informed in a professional and interesting format. Special thanks to Maura McDonough, excuse me if I don't have the pronunciation correct, on volunteering her exceptional graphic talent to multiple communication campaigns on keeping us all safe. Thanks to all of these very special efforts.
How many times have we islanders passed the familiar scene as we drive onto the ferry or go off, or when we return to our peaceful home? And one of the endearing enablers of our service is our Lopez Landing ferry crew. Rain, shine, wind, cold, and darkness. Does a major holiday deter them from being on the job? No. We pass them on the way off and when we return. Gratefully, they are there waiting for us with a friendly wave. They work with us if we have an urgent need to be aboard or when there is a medical emergency. We must admire and be proud of them.
Bob and Becky Smith are wonderful examples of the spirit of Lopez. As a couple and as individuals, they have supported our community in so many selfless ways, giving their time and talents as volunteers to many organizations and events that have served our community. Bob is always there with his hammer and smile, doing just what needs to be done, whether it's the Tour de Lopez, 4th of July, Fire District, EMT's events, or Hamlet House. He is there taking care of all that needs to be done. With his smile, his humor, and his big laugh, he is a friend to all. Becky's involvement with the community also runs deep. From the Chamber of Commerce, Tour de Lopez, Fire District Board, EMTs, and Hamlet House, she has given countless hours above duty. Her dedication to the Hamlet House and its residents and staff has created a safe, loving environment for all. She has brought a sense of fairness, respect, and kindness to those she serves. Becky's sense of humor and laughter enriches anyone around her. Thank you, Bob and Becky, for all your hours of giving back to the Lopez community. We are a safer and better place for it.
Lopez Village Market. Throughout the last year, as the pandemic took away many things we take for granted, LVM has been a constant in our lives. Every single day, despite the threat of exposure to the virus, the folks who stock the shelves and wait on us have been on the job. The work was difficult when the toilet paper and paper towels run short, and the hand sanitizer was gone, but the staff worked diligently to bring in the essentials as fast as possible. The market offered early shopping hours for seniors, took orders and provided curbside pickup, and made door-to-door deliveries to the hamlet for vulnerable seniors. In the short, dark, and cold days of winter, many of us go to the store just for the social interaction with the friendly crew. We are called by name and engaged in conversations. Warmth and humor brighten our days. Here are some of the facts that are not widely known. Over the years, LVM has partnered with nonprofit organizations and churches to support food programs, brown bags, Lopez Fresh, summer lunches for children. The Lopez Center Home Tour partners with LVM to provide fabulous lunches to attendees and volunteers, adding to the enjoyment of the day. Thank you, LVM, for keeping the spirit of Lopez alive and well every single day. My nomination is for Marcia Deschardonnay. I think of her as a bright star. In the years that Marcia has been on Lopez Island, she has been an active member of the island community, participating in events, volunteering, and serving on many island boards. As the director of the Bureau of Land Management, serving the San Juan Islands, she quickly became the friendly face of what had in years past been an unresponsive, large governmental organization. She listened and responded to us, no matter what concerns we brought to her. We felt heard. She was here and available through much of the National Monument nomination setup process, attending the many community meetings, answering questions, helping us understand. Much of her work was done quietly. She got the work done, making it happen.
It's my honor to nominate Marcia Deschardonnay for her years of service to the Lopez community, well beyond the scope of her job as our National Monument Manager. This has been an extraordinary year for the spirit of our community to shine through the severe challenges of COVID-19. Marcia has never hesitated to step into leading our community, including tackling a number of topics of great concern to Lopezians. This often included leading discussions, moderating different views, and working towards solutions to these tough topics, from community day-long workshops on sustainable tourism and affordable housing to Firewise panel discussions, giving time on the board of LCCA and expanding our knowledge of Indigenous communities, both in the San Juan Islands and around the world through the Indigenous Education Institute. Her inclusive leadership style showed her high-level integrity, amazing skills in group mediation, and community-minded attitude, bringing all of us along with her with a can-do spirit. When the shock and lockdown of the COVID virus came to Lopez last March, Marcia immediately got to work to form the Lopez Island Recovery Network. With bi-monthly meetings, a website to gather and share information, and to work to keep us all safe during this unprecedented time. Marcia has set the bar high for Lopesians to step into her service roles as she heads to Colorado for her next adventure. Thank you, Marcia, for never once stepping back from the tough community topics and calming everyone down in the process. We will miss you.
Thank you for joining us for the 2020 Spirit Award celebration. We hope you enjoyed the presentation. We're planning on doing a few outdoor concerts this summer, so if we keep our fingers crossed, we'll see you there. Take care. Be well.